So the question is, which you have to ask yourself, what is your light? Now, surely, before you start your life, you have to have a vision, a mission. Where are you going? And for that, you need light. How can you have a vision of what's all the possibilities you want to go to if you have not yourself some light? I have no light and no vision. How can you see things? It's a vision is something you see. If your eyes are closed or you are in darkness. Now, if there's a lot of light in your environment, then maybe you will see a little bit light. So, the basic question you have to ask, which keep you going, is the amount of light you get. Understand? Surely the environment can also give you light, but Earth won't give you light. Even you see the beautiful sunset and the beautiful nature, and although Solomon said the sun is good for your eyes, surely the light is good for your eyes, not only outside but inside.
Yes, so the public garden, the earth is a vanity.
Vanity, so now surely now you say, where is the light? Now, surely if you build a house a little bit structured, you build a car a little bit more structured, you build a computer more, so now you can maybe where there's more light, you can see maybe a solution which you can do. Surely finally you have to get to people, but not many people have light. They have trained to follow the routines, the light which was already there. Although the explosion of new knowledge are so much today, because there's so many people, and so many people have a little bit here, and that guy have a little bit there, and that guy have a little. Surely here and there you see a guy with bring a little bit more things together. And in the academic places, you probably people read, so they try to gather all the light that is from the past and from the current, what people predict in the future. So they try to get it and try to combine it or find some light in it. So your basic problem, the first thing, you must be enlightened. So you have to say, the purpose of your breakthrough is to light, because you can have maybe an initial vision, but to push you in that vision, you need a lot of subsequential encouraging new light. Is like new branches in your primary tree that grow. So surely your tree must go further, but out of the tree many little branches as you go. And surely the branches can become also big branches, and they have little branches. So your light is that you see a new branch come out of the basic vision which you have. All right, so you won't be encouraged. You won't go forward. Life won't be life or exciting. Life won't pulsing if you don't see light. Now, surely you have to see light in many of your branches. You have a branch maybe about the environment around you, branch maybe about your health, branch maybe in a prominent subject you are busy, branch maybe you play stock and you have to have a new idea. So you have to try a new idea. If your idea stop, you have only the things which are from yesterday, but you want to grow and have new branches. If you don't grow, you stand still, you say everything is vanity. You want to gain more wealth and you want to live longer. So this is the problem. Solomon Mojave cannot live longer and he's now old, he cannot expand his health, although he cannot expand his wealth. He starts saying, what's the use if I cannot grow, if I cannot continue? Now I must give all my wealth to somebody else. Now my excitement stop. And now I'm 80 years old, my breath are now shortened, are going to go out. And now we say, why have I worked so hard? Now he's disappointed. So I say, what's the reason then for all the work? Well, I built a big tree. The purpose is to build a bigger tree. A bigger tree has more power and more freedom, more possibility for more possibilities, more light for more type of interaction, more engaging. So the question finally is not, wow, I have learned this. You say, what is your new light? After you learn, after the guy get his wealth, now he's hard. Now his wife, he don't know what to do now. No, the wealth is a base so that he can go another step. So surely most of civilization have stagnated for 1,000 years. Only here the last 100 years something start happening. We give people basis of light, of education, of what other people already have said as a good base for light, that they can also think of something little and attribute to the global form of knowledge. Surely we have some help. So surely the people want the AI to be perfect, but the AI will never be perfect. But the AI will give you suggestions. Now, some of the things he says is not totally right. Now, surely if you are an expert, you'll find out this is right, but this is wrong. But he comes up with all sorts of strange scenarios. So you are the master. The AI is a help. So he can give a lot of suggestions. So some of the suggestions is a little bit weird, but 90% of the suggestions are all true, or are a bigger virality which you have not in that moment think. So in a high word you can maybe conclude another high. So you are the creator of new information. So you are the one that take all the current information, say, wow, well, I never think of this, or I don't remember this. Oh, this is a little new, but maybe this and this I can bring together. And then I can make a better compressor. This is a help, this is assistant, very good professor assistant. We have had now the search engine, but they was only two-dimensional. Now ChatGPT combine a lot of information. Now you have to know to bring in the understanding is much more data. So if I have one word, the understanding of it is big data. So if I have vocabulary, English vocabulary of 30,000 words, which is about 4 meg, just as much as one song, 4 meg of 4 million characters. But the AI information that bring all the connections to it is about 400 mega. It's like 100 times more to get into the understanding. So the people that understand must have much more knowledge base. They have to see the whole picture. So don't think understanding is lesser data. Although you can say it in a shorter phrase, but it is like a summary of a massive amount of sentences which have some relative meaning. So, all right. Now I want to do a query. Normally I just query all the same words or all the same phrases or whatsoever. Or the common phrases people use to search for something. So they bring you a little list of the most common sentence people always type in. And it's actually very easy to do it. You just record all the sentences people, and some of the sentences the same. So the most with more counts, you put more at a very easy way. So if you type something about how far is the moon, and then they will say from the sun or from Jupiter or from the earth or whatsoever. So, but according to the most popular, so it's very easy to do it. So you just have it, and you have a count how many people, so that rank the thing easy. So, but this is the how far the two-dimensional searches go. So now you get two massive information, and it's not a combination of understanding what you have, which now the chat GPT start helping in. It's also not perfect, but much better than the two-dimensional rankings or whatsoever. All right, so this is now a help. This is now more meaningful, and more light is that. Now, surely in that I can make now a better conclusion. Now, surely this is another level of gaining meaningful information from a massive base of data which are accumulated through all the books that was ever written, all the important things people have say, all the mathematics the smart people have think of all the information there is. And surely they have pretty already capturing of most of the essential information that exists, and surely there's new information that daily are added to the web, but not so much significant information. Here and there may be a little bit significant. All the others just repeat of a similar sentences people say. Hello, other guys say hi, and others say good morning. The other guys say how is your day, or say you look beautiful. So there is about 100 words how to greet, and sometimes somebody come up with another word, and then they just add another word for a subject of greeting or of coming. Two entities come together. Then the first introduction words they say, and then they go away. They have conclusion words they express. It can be so many and in so many different languages, but this is what we know. Now then somebody come up with a scenario, have a different face, how he look when he say goodbye. So eventually they have faces, how happy they are when they see him, how upset they are when they see him, how happy they are when they go away. So now we have a lot of faces, and the faces we can have words to try to describe it. So more light. More light. So the purpose is you have to be light. So what's your measurement of light? You don't want to look at stories which primitive stories. They won't keep a lie to you. Now, if you are clear, you can even see in simple things of the earth, the apple falling, and then you can start working big mathematic equations out. What happened and why the earth go around the sun, and why the moon has an effect on the tides of the sea, and you can have now a lot of conclusions just by something you have seen, but you need already a lot of big information base behind you. Now you have just seen something new, and then you try to fit it into all your physics formulas of what other people have taken years maybe to formulate. All right, so the purpose are to gain light. So in more understanding or significant or conclusive information, you can make maybe a better conclusion. But how do you get more light? How do you say, all right, let me read more books, let me get a ChatGPT that summarize at least something more, at least help me. Because I can also remember a lot of things, but he can help me remember massive things which other people also remember. So this is like a system. But you have to come up with a new conclusion. So surely they tried AI to reason a little bit logical, but it's very difficult. He just repeats the logic which other people have programmed in. And surely, how can you come up with more light? Now I say, if you have not light, you have no goal. If you have not daily light, you stand still, you say, where does everything go? You are start dying, then you want to go out, you want to do, no, there's more out going in your mind. There's more new things in. He's all, let me go out and look at the sun again and look at the world. The scenery is a little bit different, not much different. You can conclude that there's a sun and there's clouds and there's some green things, although each time a little bit different. And the sky gets a little more grayer, more polluted. Then you want to go out to see the blue sky and a beautiful open sky of stars. All right, but not so much information. There's much more information inside you. And so surely now they've gathered all the information everyone have ever say, and it become more handleable. Just 21 days, and then they can train all the information which was gathered now. Surely we have enough hard disks to store all the data. This is a massive amount of data, but most of the data are very similar. Just more higher rankings and things like, because people use it more, but not in so many different ways. It's pretty stable. There's not much new you can hear. Not much more understanding. We work still to have a battery and just build more of the same batteries. Dig some ground out, get some lithium and iron, build some structures, paint it, connect wires to that, and go to the next mega power station. Put some scientists try to have a more effective solar, some other ones to more compact batteries. Slowly there's here and there some improvement. Build more of the same type of electric cars, build more houses, try to build now a robot that can do a couple of things. And all right, all these things are exciting, things that not exist Now you have not 2 houses, but you have 3 houses. Then maybe you have 12 houses. But what is new? So surely, you say, all right, put the houses up together, have an apartment, and then you say, all right, have houses in the big tower there in Manhattan. So you can have all sorts of variations of houses. Have houses in the sea, have houses in the sky, have cyber houses, virtual houses, have all sorts of type of houses. Each level are interesting levels. Now, what I actually say now, we have to have more light. Otherwise, we have already light, we cannot get enough light. We like light, we are attracted to light. We want something to be interesting. If you say me the same thing, then I don't like it. If you tell me the same story, I don't like it. But if I have a different angle in the story, then you listen. If I again say, what is 1 plus 1? You say, but I know it. What do you want to say now to me? What is a 0? So surely somebody can re-question what we say, because it seems that things, you say, I see the tree, but tomorrow the tree grows. And then at the end, the tree has seeds, and you can plant now 10 little trees around the big tree, and they can also grow. They can have also multiplication, and then you can change some of the genetics there in the tree, and the different trees. Now surely somebody has played heavily with the genetics, with massive combinations. So we just look here and say, here, because here somebody has played heavily. You get this buck and this shell and that under the sea and this fish and that. It's just unending. All the variation. This one can fly, this one can walk, this one can walk up, the one can come down the spider from the... so many combinations. And then some of the genetics make hard bones, and some eyes, and some ears, and some neurons, and some muscles, some internal organs. Just the variety is just a massive. Some high civilization have play heavily with this technology. Now surely we play with the electronic, which is basically data, to store data, and to move data from one point to another, and restructure the data, again. And now we have programs to try to combine data, present the data different, and try to push up more meaningful data here at the end. Get better summaries, better conclusions, better abstractions of massive amounts of information, which you actually play in with other information. Now, all I actually say, so we have played with the electrons. We have not played with the genetics. We have not played with building real structures in the earth. Now, the genetics build very, very flexible structures. It's not as hard as iron or as plastic or as glass or whatsoever, but it's a very flexible form which are expressive, and it can do something. It can be as hard as iron. The teeth can be very hard, and it can be soft, it can be strong, it can move. So the whole purpose is that it are flexible and have impact or influence or some variable change activity into the normal life. So somebody has figured out, here's the technology of genetics, of DNA, so whatsoever. And out of that, it can build proteins, it can build muscles, it can build cells, it can build skins, it can build bones, it can build so many things just out of this structure. And then somebody has played with it, make a little bug, make a little spider, make a little bird, make a fish, make this little noster, and eventually a human being with a lot of front cortex neurons. They can also start thinking, and wow, now, and there may be other levels, not just this genetic level. So we have concepts of the spirit, concepts of insight power, which we don't know if it really connect with the genetics outside. So these may be other technologies which was developed that we don't know about. But we know we can taste, we can manipulate a little bit the genetic, very primitive. No, you have to see the whole big picture. If you change something, you have to change maybe millions scenarios. You don't just take one gene out and put another one in. Or you have to do combinations. You have to play in a more three-dimensional or whatsoever dimension way with the genetics to produce a protein to support the energy. So somebody, some civilization, some higher entities have played extensively. And it's just like all these massive things have just placed it here on the earth. And here things start growing, here things start duplicating. And we say, all right, maybe from one come another, but it's very unlikely. We know it's very complex to go from one species to another species. There's gaps. So people say, wow, the gaps were... Darwin said, wow, the gaps will get smaller as we dig up more evidence here on the earth. But the more they dig up, how bigger the gaps get between the species, between groups, between branches of life. So it seems somebody have played, some have technology which he have expressed him in this technology. And after he has new life, he built a new branch. Now for you to get from this branch to that branch, and that it do not actually come from each other. There may be little variations because growth has some unique variation. But new big branches is like somebody else has spent a long time and now we come up with a new direction. Which is a new species. So the gaps get bigger and bigger and bigger. How more they dig up, and surely they dig up big things. Here was massive skeletons, massive type of things. But now you have basic questions which I want to ask. How do you get light? Now David said, in your life, I see light. But now if you have now the best light, where will you see more light? You have duplicate now your house 100 different types of ways and a million types of houses. You say, what is the difference? This house has just 2 rooms, and that has 3 rooms, and that has a room at the roof, and that one has a room in the basement, and that one has a room that hang out. I'm going to go through all the combinations here. But at the end, it's just a house. I have 2 feet. I need a little bit, a good climate, not only clothes, some big clothes around me as a house. All right. 2. What's the answer? You cannot say I don't have not light. All right. So now somebody say, give me light. Otherwise, you see what bar do they give you 3 options. You ask a question, they give you 3 options. So you can click or the one answer or the other answer or the third answer. One is more extensive, maybe one is shorter, one has a different angle or whatsoever.
Wow, this is good.
But you see, you need more choices. And then maybe a combination of them or whatsoever. Well, now I have said, that's simple. You can have one thing, but if you have 2 things, it's just a new world. Totally new world. There's 2 things. So, I say, I have to program everything for a small screen for a phone. But surely, you want to do many things. You cannot do so many things on a screen. And you don't want the guy to go too many screens. It's too complex. Just to have 2 screens like a phone. Wow, my possibilities and my thinking just are like 10 times better that I have 2 screens I can work on. I never want to go back to the one little small screen. I know the woman, you have to carry the phone with you and you have to try to put all the thing on one screen. But yeah, because you limit your usability, your possible scenarios that you can present there on your screen in one moment, heavily. So now I can just say, if I do a query, surely I want to have, say for instance, there's 5 words, prominent words in my query. I want on each query, I want to have an answer, and then I can combine 2 and then other 2 and all 3. So I want at least there 10 new tabs I can click to see my answer. Okay, stand there. I don't want to ask another question. I want to ask an here and to give me a big in a moment so that I can click to say, this look good, this look good. That fastly. And then one of the tabs is a summary and summary of that. So I want variation in one moment. I don't want to ask again and ask again and ask again. I want to fastly get to the conclusion of my problem. So now you see how simple you say the 2 accounts help him. Oh, 2 accounts help him very heavy.
Just this sentence. Oh my god, now the Bible talking about it.
Oh, I have just said as a joke. There's some truth in that.
I trust you.
Your account, he can lose a little bit, he knows.
Woman can't anything. The software is word, they can afford. There's also a bad thing.
Yeah.
If you do one thing, or you keep quiet. Two perfect things over there. Perfect. I just talk to him. Magnus also looks games.
So this is what we do. We educated people, but we only give them tests. It's not real. You work all your mathematic problems out. It's not real. You just get no point. But if you have to program you solve the problem of your car, if you have worked it wrong out, the wheel fall off or something seriously happened, or your electronics blow up. So my electronics have blown up many times. So, or you break a chip, an expensive chip. So the moment you get now to reality, you mathematics. So to have a test, therefore they have a simulation of the reality. So then, if something don't go right, it's not so serious till the simulation is right. If the simulation is now nearly 100% how the practice work, then after you play with the simulation, you say, the spaceship will go up and not blow up. Surely they have a lot of simulations, but surely when you try it in the reality, things blow up. Then you learn, so, I cannot do that. But it costs $500 million that they blow up there. It's not so simple. So you can now just think to bring model out like ChatGPT-3, which is very powerful, take only $5 million. People are going to do that. This is not the starship that blow up. How big model can you do with $500 million? These things are coming up like, it will just come up like paddenstoelen. You know what's a paddenstoel? It's just nice things you eat.
Those things, so.
I always forget the word. You always give me a sauce, and then you have paddenstoelen. What have you? This thick things. They grow so fast on the ground. I forgot the word now. They are white and a little brown. You have always this sauce. They say, can you get cheese sauce? Or you can get mushrooms. They come up like mushrooms. In Afrikaans is paddenstoelen. Mushrooms.
Jordan, stand here, translate. You need to go
very fastly. Yeah. So all these new models will come up just like easy. So surely, and now Facebook have given them, it's only $5 million, they give it free out. But it's powerful, it's very powerful, that model. I can do, so surely you have to do a lot of programming around it to make it more powerful. So I start trying to figure this now out. How can I make it more powerful? It's not that you only need this. You need a normal database also. But actually it's not just 3-dimensional. They go to 2,480 dimensions to make all the relationship. If I have one word and then he gives me the whole thing the relationships according to just one word of the whole English vocabulary. So some things are very far away, some things are here, some things are there. There's all sorts of associations, which we actually finally make very linear. Say what is the most connected, the less. Sometimes it comes up with weird concepts. Only 10% they come up with. So I say, faith, give me my whole Bible around faith. Surely at the top you have a couple of strong faith. But why is this a more stronger verse around faith than that faith? Because the words in that verse are more associated with faith. But sometimes there's not even a word faith in. And then the second word I have faith in. But it's not to say the combination of all the words have a higher value. So this is interesting. So now I just on that one, if I have any other words like truth, then the range how the verses are range is totally different for 30,000 verses of the Bible. So this is very interesting. And now I can have multiple of these indexes. And the index is very short. Can you stand there? So if I have the faith index, it's just for each, it's just a very number, just a certain number to organize it. So, all right. I can have multiple indexes according to how I look at the Bible. So surely, first I must say what's the most prominent words in the Bible. Surely the word God is the most prominent. Then maybe the Spirit, maybe Christ, maybe in the New Testament faith, Old Testament the law, so we can guess. And then that I look the whole Bible just around that one index. Okay. Now I must make the connections. They have just connected how all the people through history have talked about these words. So this is just so it's new understanding, new combinations, new associations that are based on the general use, and people have understanding and why they will use this more and why they will use it. Surely I understand things in the scriptures. The common people have not used it in such ways. So he will always give me how people think, not how I have correlate things in a different way. Not because I read more books. If I read more books, I will just get to the same conclusion that I come. But it's because I have tested, this is what I talked yesterday, with myself. So I am like a canvas which you have the words of the scriptures and make the pictures on it. So I am example of these things the scriptures talk about. And some things are like levels. You don't understand, don't break through, have not, and now it come forward. All right, so according to that canvas, by self, by setup, by being, I can tell you more how things work. And surely this is how Paul talks. Out of their own experience. So surely John say, God is light, and if somebody say he have fellowship and he walk in darkness, he lies. So you must also walk in the light. It's not only God walk in the light, you have to walk also in light. So surely God exists, but you have to be similar than God, because here he says God is light, but you must also be in light, so you must be also divine, also be like God. Now surely how can you say I am light? You see, because I struggle a little bit. I'm getting out to final point, limits. I think to here, but I cannot think further. I don't know anymore anything else. What am I going to do? You have to have your light. So many times I get stuck. I have no new idea. What am I going to program today now? What am I going to program the next month? All my ideas I have expressed. I have programmed it. I have done it. There can be here these things I do, but it's too insignificant. I want to do a new idea that combine more new things together. I have no now, so what am I going to do? I have nothing to do. Now I have already put in very complex ideas there, but for me to go on, I need new light. Yes, simple, clear, and this is what it is. Where am I going to now? Surely now I listen to maybe the Bitcoin people. But I know now everything they say. This guy say a little bit, don't know why. And there's a new guy, he come from the military, and now he say something else. This guy come from a financial staff. He say something. This guy come from engineering. He say something about. But I have listened out to everyone. They have not new ideas. I have not new things to write. Before I can write something, I must have a new idea. I cannot write the old thing which I have already said. Or I must look at the thing at a more important scenario, of a different scenario. Otherwise, I get stuck. I say everything is vanity. Even I build beautiful palaces and beautiful structures and meaningful things. But surely now with the AI, I see, yeah, because now I start using my database. And not one server. I have a server for this and a server for that and a server for that. Yeah, because while this server runs, I can start programming that server. And sure, I must combine all my software to one common source. So a lot of new problems come now out because now I see why I need this and I need that and I need that and I need that. And now all the bases which I've already programmed, it's not just one server with a network. I want multiple networks with different things. So surely I've already spent a long time that I just expand things until infinity. But normally it's in one network, but I want multiple networks for the multiple reasons. I say, well, now you can learn complex. I have this computer servers on, that computer servers on. You see here, I called it up. I call it from one of my servers. And then I have South African server. I have US servers. Surely, finally, I put all the data there. But surely, I have done already a good base. But now I think, wow. I want a memory database. I want a lot of things come up because the problem I want to solve is a little bit more complex problem. If you can just give me a more complex problem, and then I can start thinking how I can solve it. And then when I have the right question, so therefore the Bible says what? So if you stay in me, my word in whatsoever you ask. But you have to ask. You have to ask a problem. You have to see a problem. You have to say, what is the problem? How am I going to solve it? But before you can define your problem, the moment you define your problem, you have already a taste of your solution. Otherwise, you cannot ask it. So Solomon has not a new question he can ask. He say, I have asked a question, there's no answer. I don't know what man must do here on the earth. I have tried to find out, but I find no useful thing. He is already made perfect. He must just eat, enjoy his life, and do something. This is all he has to do. He's already perfect. I cannot add to it. I have tried to add. It seems all the things I add cannot make him happy. Not as happy as the things that's already there. More palaces, maybe for more queens. But the queens have a certain level, they are goods, and it's interesting. I have built all the armies, but nobody attacked me. And built a temple, have a lot of gold, get through the whole earth. And South Africa, south of Africa, get their gold. I have enough gold. I don't need one more gold. I want a new question, a new problem. I have no problems, and the problems I ask, I have no clear answer. The things here is already too perfect. The paradise is already built. I cannot add much to this paradise. I think this is where we also come. We have a paradise. We cannot add to the paradise. The guys will say, wow, the woman is the best. Not my car, not my computer, not my AI, not my mathematics. The woman is still the best. The woman had a child. She said, the child is still the best goal in my life. To communicate, to learn, to interact, to go, it is a burden. To solve a problem is a burden, but it's very exciting. So we have already a paradise. So Jesus saying, love one another. This is your paradise. Don't look at the darkness of the people. They can have light. You have just to put them on a course that their light start coming out. Then they become interested. Tomorrow they say a phrase you have never heard. Tomorrow they come up with a concept and instruction you cannot believe come out of his mouth.
Look, word poem, go and sell the pickles.
All right, now you say, wow, people are not so simple, and smart people are not much less so simple. They come up with things you cannot imagine. Solutions, possibilities, prosperity, extension, growth. They come up with something. And this keeps them going. The moment they stop, the moment they cannot think, the moment they cannot move anymore, accomplish something, they are dying. So don't put them in a retiring home. They are going to die very fast. But here the old people read out of the Bible, keep them a little bit active. Because the Bible are a little bit complex to understand. All right, so the final question, what will give you light? Now the first question answer we say, if you have more light around you, then you can maybe in that light, you can think of other light. But it's very difficult. You cannot only come with a little branch from this branch. You use actually the main branch of JavaScript, but you come up with some little things of an idea you want to. So JavaScript is just like a language. You can write something. You have an idea, and you write it. Now you have an idea. You write a function, a routine, which a little bit look different than the other routine. You have now all your fundamental routines which you all use, which you have worked hard on. And then you use them to build other routines. And then with that, maybe here and there is a good routine. You put it in your library. Then you have a bigger toolbox. And then you can use that so you build faster and faster, more complex and more. But your idea must get bigger and bigger and newer to accomplish it. But where do you get your light? Now, if you can answer that question, you have the solution. Now, I say you can get it from other people, but Solomon have said, I know everything. I know more than anybody. I know richer than everybody. I have wiser than anybody. Who are going to help me? And I try to get wise people, and in 1,000, I get maybe one wise guy. And the woman was not among them. So where do you get your light? All right. Famously, John say, and the life was the light of man. So there's the source of your life. Therefore, if a woman have a child, there's new life. In that she can damage the light, but she can also grow the life. The life and the light work together. If something grows, there may be more light. Today, more technology grows, so there's more light that come up. All the darkness are cast out. There's more knowledge. You can much more easier verify if something true or not. Now, we know Google teach the models to lie. But you will get people that just say, this is what the people that say, let me say. Now, surely you get a lot of people that lie also. They have say also things. But you get a lot of people that talk the truth. And surely, how can you know the truth from the lie? Because in you are the truth built in. Okay, stand there. So you can test the lie and see if it works out. And you say, oh, I thought it worked out. It's a fast way to get rich, but now it catch me. I need more counselors. I need more to chess accounts. I need more diversity. All sorts of things. You say, diversity. No. Diversity, a lot of angles, a lot of ways to implement it. Not just diversity. In the diversity, there's priority. You cannot just say diversity. There is diversity, but there's also priority in the diversity. This is what they don't say to you. They say only diversity. But you have to have my priority also. So, all right, I have diversity. But this guy is the gardener. That guy, the designer. That built the car. You have to, there's the verse. But you have to prioritize the diversity. This is not discrimination. This is prioritizing. So you cannot get just the also priority. You have to also to prioritize things. You have to say what's first, or second, or third, or fourth, and what. Have you not the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? You have to make that priority. Because you cannot look at everything. You can only look at the top. Which you have to put the top at the top, and the one that comes second, he is also important, because your car and your garden are not going to get clean if you have not this element. You can now clearly think how the garden must end, what's the tomatoes and potatoes and what you have to be. But there is another support you have to have, which you don't want to spend your time. It's too slow. You have to think of a new setup of flowers and potatoes and structures and how it must grow or whatsoever. What's the genetic makeup for a better tomato and more healthy, whatsoever. You have, there's a lot of work you have to do. You need a lab assistant. You have to try out your ideas. So there's diversity, and diversity is meaningful, but you have to prioritize. You cannot do everything, otherwise you won't get to the important things. You don't get to the priority elements. All right. Now, this is what John say. Life, the light of man. Now David said, no, in your light I see light. But Solomon said, I know all the light now. And I get to a block, a limit. I don't want to ask. What I ask, I have not the answer. I don't know what to ask. Maybe I asked wrong. So, I say, what we have is already a paradise. All the things I've built is vanity. I don't know what man must do. He must just have a wife and children and enjoy his life. This is the technology already is good enough. It's good enough. To have extra gold, what about that? To have an extra mountain, what about that? To have an extra house, what about that? I can even live in a tree. Good for my body. Do I need all these things? I have planted down enough trees, it's good enough. I have enough pictures for the summer, and then I can put it and cook it, put it on the fire, put it in a bottle, then for the winter I have also peaches. Little effort. All right, how can I get new light? Is the question. Now, John said, life is the light of man. How do you get new light? By life. Now, surely there's outside life and there's inside life. So therefore, the woman gets a child is outside life, but there's also life inside the guy. The son, he come up with new things. He's a handful, bad. You won't trade it for any other treasure. Something happened with the son is a big problem for you. To solve it. Surely, it seems how more hope you have, how bigger is the blood. How bigger treasure you have, how bigger is the problems you have to solve. How fuller your hand is. It seems how bigger paradise you want. You say, I want to live alone. I don't want to have a wife. If you have a wife, there is more troubles, but also a bigger paradise. Now surely you have to be in a paradise to bring a bigger paradise. If you're on a bad place, you're going to depend on the woman to bring a paradise to you. You have to have a paradise, and then you can see the woman add to your paradise. So there God said, man is alone, I won't make him a helpmate. Just that second account make a big difference. Now at least the guy think, all right, I'm not so bad. I see the woman a little bit struggle more than me. And then he feel good. You know, if the other people lose, he feel very happy. He say, I will train them. You feel not too bad. So you train also your son, you feel not too bad. You say, wow, I'm a little bit better. I'm not so bad. And I'm better than this, I'm better than that, and better than then you feel a little bit hope for yourself. But then there's people above you. It's too difficult to get there. All right, so we actually say this is outside life. If there's more outside life, things become more interesting. Can you stand there? And but there's inside life. How do you get inside life? Are there anybody that bring you a word of life? So Peter say, where will we go? But you have the words of life. Jesus say, my words are spirit and life. Now we don't know what is spirit, nor do we know what is life. We can guess a little bit what spirit, the Bible have a word. This is technology. We say we have a body, but we still don't know what it really is. The body is already constructed, already useful, do a lot of things, but we cannot manipulate that technology, nor can we manipulate the technology of the spirit, nor can we manipulate the elements of life. What is it? So according to the creation story, life has existed before any creation. The Spirit moved on the water before any creation. So the Spirit exists there, God exists, the Word exists, and before anything is created. So surely, and we see the whole creation are heavily dependent on the waters. Everything comes out of the waters. Even the ground come out of the waters. All right, so this is the creation story. Have levels of interpretation. But here John can finally say, if you want light, if you want hope, if you want the future, if you want exciting life, you have to be in paradise. You have to be in life. Paradise represents life. A lot of things grow. In the middle of this paradise, there's a tree of life. There's a source of life. There's the river of properly life, because it must give supply to the tree of life. So here the final chapter say, and there is a river, a beautiful crystal river of life, supporting the tree of life. And then the city is a city of light. So surely the two concepts of light and life here in the last visions are, or message, are clearly presented. Even the Spirit say, you need life. Come and take of the water of life. So, life are the source of your light. If you get stuck, you need more life. In the life, light will come up again. So this is what I say to you. So what is the biggest power? Life is the biggest power. Surely we talk also about, Paul talk about the power of God. He also talk about the Spirit of God. And he also talk about salvation, or the Word, or enlightenment. But what is the most powerful source of life? And surely, if you stand in the power of God, your words are stronger. If you stand in the Spirit, the Spirit revealed you, give you words. The power give you much more words, much more revelation. How more powerful you become, how bigger picture you have. How more powerful, how higher you go on the mountain. How more things can you manipulate. You say for the soldier do that, and that general that, and that general. You can, much more scenarios you can play with to accomplish something. So, if you have more power, surely it will help your life, your light. But the biggest power, life. So therefore, John just say, and it was already there from the beginning. The subject about life, this tree of life, this reality of life, this truth about life, this technology of life. And then we see it manifested in Jesus. This was the life that was with the Father, but are now also manifested to us. Then he say, all right, but I want to tell you, because this we tell you this, that you can have fellowship with us. Why the fellowship? There is more life. Because fellowship brings things together, which is light. Fighting, war, stealing, lying, separate people. People get hurt. They want to move away if you like too much to them. They don't want you. If you steal from them, they get more angry. All right, so all I actually say, light, life is the life. So life, here he says, so that you can have fellowship with us. And then he again talks, he said, God is light, and if you walk in the light just as like God, you will have fellowship. You see that? And, all right, so this is the solution for you. Your only purpose is to get in your light. Otherwise, you have no purpose. Otherwise, you just tell how bad the people around you is, how much they complain, and how primitive the life is here around you. You are a special person. You want to live in a house of light. Nothing less than is good enough. You understand? So you have a big demand. But how are you going to get a light? You have to have more light. This is the only way. So I can remain very clearly. Wow, so let us pray the Sunday afternoon. So we pray the whole Sunday afternoon. Here 6 o'clock, the people come in for the next service. So I open the Bible. Wow, the words, simple words are just like, stand because of the life. If you have more life, you can also pay a bigger price of blood. You will have also more light. You have also more power. You will have also more revelation. So can you just understand? So there is the verse. Do you want life? Without your light, you will get fastly old. Disappointment. You will just move each day on, don't know where you go. This is how many people that go in a little routine, and this is what their life is. Sometimes they want to go well, and then they damage themselves because they have not enough life. They're not a goal. They don't work. They don't want to get engaged in something because inside them they feel hopeless. They gets to against a wall. They cannot go further. But new light bring a new activity, bring a new way out, bring some hope. Without light, there are surely no hope, and then you don't want to live. Then things are useless. All right, so it's just a simple secret. No, people have not life. The life has not opened. So surely Jesus started talking this, surely different manifestations of life. But here he's saying, all right, if you drink of the water today, is the drinking of life. But then Jesus also say, out of your belly came rivers. So these other forms of life can stand there. And then, and he says, talk about the Spirit. So there's different forms of life. And you know, what does the Spirit do? He do intercessions for us. So there's also a life source open in intercession. So there's different forms of manifestation of life. All right, so the message is just simple. Without light, you don't go anywhere. You have not the paradise. You are unhappy. Nothing can make you